Welcome to Week 18. For those of you that are crazy enough to play Week 18 Fantasy Football Championships, our Start Sit show live. I'm joined here by Ricky, Sean, and Mike. So as we get the show going here, if you have any questions for your Week 18 Fantasy Championship, put them in the questions below. If you have DFS questions, betting questions, we'll be here to answer those too. Because we are only going as long as we have questions today. But with that being said, let's get some introductions going. Ricky, you want to introduce yourself and tell everybody where they can find you?
Hi, everyone. Ricky Rodrigue at RickyRod66 and at IDP Guys. And you'll be seeing a lot more videos of me as we go into the off season, including a bunch of mock drafts that we're going to do that I'll be hosting as during the off season here. So looking forward to that.
Sean.
Yeah, Sean Tig at Sean8386 on the X, Twitter, Twixter, whatever we're going with now. By the way, I actually hate X. It doesn't make sense. I hate everything about it. Anyway, so I'll be writing for the IDP Guys, IDP Plus this season. Maybe jumping on some pods. We'll see what happens.
And Michael.
Yep, I'm Mike Segoli over here, running that newsletter, that IDP Guy or IDP Plus newsletter that goes out every single Wednesday, which you can sign up for in our social bios at IDP Guys on Twitter, not X. I'm with you, Sean. I am not, never gonna. It's now what we're now 2 years into X, and it's not even maybe a year and a half, not even 4 months, something. It's not gonna happen for me. So Twitter, yeah.
So coming into Week 18, we had 7 teams clinched to the playoffs. One of those teams already played yesterday. We have 6 teams going today that we should be wary about. Few of them are not playing starters that they've already announced. And we have a few more teams that probably could be playing starters, maybe the first half of the game. Then depending on the scoring situation, could be going to their backups after that. Ricky, I know you have a list. Do you want to go over that real quick?
Sure. In terms of teams to avoid studs, my list has the Browns, Chiefs, Rams, and 49ers on it. And then I have 2 question marks. One is the bite your kneecap Detroit Lions and the Washington Commanders. So Detroit isn't necessarily set in the number 3 spot. However, it's more than likely they end up there. So does Dan Campbell really play his starters and, go with that bite the kneecap mentality and play them for the whole game? Does he play them just a couple of series and let people hit a few maybe milestones, contract incentives, and then pull them out? Detroit's one I'm wary of. And then the 6th one, there's a lot of rumors that Washington's not going to play any of their stars as well. I know Jonathan Allen's been rolled out. So those are the big 6 I'm worried about. On the other hand, in terms of, to your point, the scoreboard watchers, if Dallas gets a big lead on Washington, I could see it in Philadelphia watching the scoreboard. I could see Philadelphia pulling back on some of their starters. Hurts has the knee problem, et cetera. So that's kind of, some of the ones that we need to be careful of as we're finalizing lineup decisions today.
And I did see a tweet last night that Puka Nacua needs 4 more receptions for the rookie reception record, and I believe 24 more yards for the rookie reception yards record. And they do believe that he will play possibly to get those records. So
yeah. And there's other interesting ones. Travis Kelce needs 15 yards for 1,000 yards. So I could see maybe a series or 2 with him and Blaine Gabbert. Then Kelce sits out once he gets those 15 yards. Ezekiel Elliott needs, I believe, 2 touchdowns. So there's a few of these weird incentives that are out there that, of course, we expect Zeke to play most of the game, but that could impact who plays and how long they play.
Awesome. We do have a couple questions rolling in here. From Tyler. Good morning, guys. I need to start 3 linebackers. I have Barton, Logan Wilson. I have Fred Warner, but I'm not sure how much he will play today. Any advice or sleeper options I should go after? And then he adds more.
Yeah, I was going to say.
He adds more and says his options are Barton, Warner, Logan Wilson, Quincy Williams, Caden Ellis, just to name a few. Again, any advice or sleeper options would be great.
I will bench Warner because I do believe he's firmly that type of player that the 49ers will bench because they have this defense. He is the quarterback of the defense. He is as important to this defense as Nick Bosa is. And there's no reason for them to risk him. And the 49ers were one of those teams early in the week that told us we're not going to play everybody. So I'd be shocked if we see more than a half out of Fred Warner. So with that in mind, I'll go Quincy Williams, although Kane Ellis has been on a great tear too.
I agree. On the Fred Warner side of things, I expect to see a lot of Oren Burks and Demetrius Flanagan Fowles, if I pronounced that correctly. I think those are the two linebackers you can see. Yeah, there we go, DFF. So I think those are the two linebackers we're going to be in San Francisco. Now, I'm comfortable with Logan Wilson, but back to my comments earlier about Washington, and are they really going to play all their stars? And of course, Cody Barton got injured this year, so I'm really hesitant about playing Barton. With Atlanta having something to play for, and I'd love you guys' opinion on this, I'd be almost leaning a little bit more towards Caden Ellis and Barton. Not to mention if Dallas blows out Washington, because they do sit out a bunch of their starters, Barton maybe comes out at some point during the game. So I have to admit, I'm leaning towards Wilson, Quincy Williams, and Caden Ellis for Tyler. But other thoughts?
I think that
you don't. Yeah, go, Sean.
Yeah, I don't know about Barton. That's some good questioning there. Warner is definitely out for me. I think Caden Ellis has more to play for, so he's probably my replacement there. And I do love Quincy Williams. You know, those guys haven't been playing for much all season. So if you want to take out Barton here, I would be fine with Wilson, Williams, and Ellis as well.
Yeah. Oh.
Go ahead.
No. I jumped in on you, Sean, and I owe you a massive apology for doing it.
It wasn't that big of a
deal. No, what I was thinking about Cody Barton, right, is I'm fine playing him. I understand people want to go to Kane Ellis. He's definitely probably a little bit safer, but Barton's on a 1-year deal. This is Ron Rivera's out the door. That report's already out there if we didn't know it already. Rivera's not going to coach this game with an eye towards the future. And while he might be doing it for Jonathan Allen and some of those guys that want to sit, Cody Barton is auditioning for his next team. He's on a 1-year deal. He means nothing to Washington next season. I think he'll still be out there. And to the top of my mind, I don't think there's any young Commanders linebackers that this team needs to see or wants to see that would get Cody Barton off the field. And I could be wrong there. I don't think I am, but I think they'll keep on rocking Barton, and the defense can't get off the field. So I do like him this week.
Yeah, I don't see him needing to play DeJohn Harris or Jabril Cox,
exactly.
To check him out. So Tyler, some different thoughts there. I would definitely check the inactives that'll be coming out in roughly 25. Oh, they're in the later game too. That's a great point. So let's think about that for 1 second here. So the Jets play early, Washington plays late, Cincinnati plays early, Atlanta plays early. So that's the other thing to keep in mind with Barton in one of the later games. If you go with Barton and he ends up being inactive, then the other three, Logan Wilson, Quincy Williams, and Caden Ellis, will have all played at that point in time. So that's the other thing you got to watch for, Tyler.
So Will does agree. Puka will set the records and then bank it. And if 4 receptions and 25 yards is something that you need to win, that you believe will win you your Week 18 championship, this might be something to look forward to right here. Schultz needed 1 more catch yesterday for a big bonus. And then his question is Mason or Strong? It's a PPR question.
Oh, Week 18. Oh, week 18.
This is why we were talking before the show. Why do this is a great reason why we don't play Week 18 championships. That you're debating between third string running backs.
What's funny about this is these two exact names as well. You know, I'm sure we all have friends text us for personal fantasy advice as well. And one of the things my friends text me, you know, they send the lineup and they say, "What do you want me to do with this?" And I'm like, cut Christian McCaffrey for Jordan Mason. And the other option was pick up Pierre Strong for some other player that was out this week. And those are the top two options that were on the wire. So I get that this is a legitimate question that people are facing. God, I don't want it. I'll go Jordan Mason and hope he catches a bunch of dump downs from Sam Darnold. I don't think the Browns move the ball at all.
I don't think so either.
I'm brother with you. Like Mason was the guy I was leaning to, as he does have a better quarterback. It's not great, but yeah, I'm with you. I do think Mason gets the workload here, and yeah, check down Darnold sounds good. Better than Driscoll dump off.
And Ricky,
I think between some of the a little bit weather issues in Cleveland, with Jeff Hall of Famer Driscoll at quarterback. Ooh, I think I will lean against the Hall of Famer Driscoll and go with Jordan Mason and Sam Darnold in that offense. So I think we're aligned there. And you know, Elijah Mitchell is technically the second stringer, but he's getting injured all the time. So I have to think Shanahan's saying, let's keep Mitchell in bubble wrap as well, unless we absolutely have to pay him maybe 2 or 3 snaps to rest Mason or something like that. Mason goes over 100 yards today.
Yeah. And another bonus for Mason as well that Strong doesn't have. Mason's going against the Rams, who are also probably they're going to rest Aaron Donald. Or, you know, who knows who else sits, because the Rams are set. They can't go up, they can't go down. They are good to go. That's why Matt Stafford's not playing. So you get Jordan Mason against a weaker defense. You got Pierre Strong against a defense that's desperately trying to stay in the playoffs. So yeah, to me, actually, the more I think about it, the more we talk it out, it's not as close as I would have thought.
So not week 18 related, but picked up Anthony Richardson and Christian Watson in my keeper league, 27-1, and took home the championship, which is awesome.
We love seeing willpower championships.
Yes,
a top 10 moment over time.
He's a power champion. See what I did there?
What are your guys' thoughts on this keeper league for Will moving forward?
Yeah, I mean Richardson, it goes. I've been debating whether it's overlooked what Shane Steichen is doing in Indianapolis, because that team could have made the playoffs last night, and they really should have, arguably. But I love what they're doing on offense. I love the pieces around him. Richardson's like, he's going to cost so much next year, but I really want him around. I'm pretty hands off Watson at this point. I just don't think he stay on the field, and I don't love kind of the hit and miss nature that he can be when he's on it. But Richardson, I'm so excited to see the Colts next season, especially if they get another receiver with Josh Downs, Michael Pittman, and they get a third. Oh my, that could be a really dangerous team in a weak division.
Yeah. Sean?
It'll be interesting. I was going to say, sorry. Pittman is a free agent. I have to assume that they're going to, at a minimum, franchise tag him to be back this year. But I do love the coach potential. My youngest son, we were watching the game last night, and he is a huge Houston Texans fan. He's also a big fantasy sports guy in terms he plays in these salary cap leagues and so forth, and he does it with full offense and defense. So he's pretty good at this stuff. And, I was rooting for Houston for him last night. But at the same time, I really like the Colts and Steichen as well. I have to admit, I like the Jaguars the least of the three. Sorry for those that might be listening to Jags fans. But I wouldn't have mind seeing both the Texans and Colts get in. But next year, Richardson and the Colts are going to be really tough. I agree with you.
Sean, before you get started, Will says he dropped Love for Anthony Richardson, and Love got scooped up. I really don't have to keep Watson. I just wanted him on my roster just in case he wanted to keep him. But what are your thoughts on the Anthony Richardson keeper?
I mean, I like his potential coming in. I don't know if I'd have dropped Love depending on who else you got, I guess. But I don't hate the gamble there at all because he has shown some fantastic talent, dual threat. He looked legitimate early in the season before he got hurt. And I'm with Michael here. Watson just he's not getting it done. He's not consistent. He's not staying on the field. And if you can't stay on the field, I don't need you on my team. But there's also the potential, you pick him up. Let's say he goes off to start the season next year. Trade him right away. As soon as he goes off, trade him.
And he'll still have a market this time not this time next year, but next year he'll still have a market for sure.
And Will said his QBs are Hurts and Burrow. So he's
yeah. You're fine. Pick up Watson, trade him to the Love owner next year.
Let's see here. Nate is in the chats, and he's asking for predictions on who Detroit plays next week.
I'm gonna have to pull up the playoff picture just to see the bracket.
It's not gonna matter.
Well, you think they're gonna lose? Is that what
Nate's going to the game. He's gonna be sad.
Yeah, for those that are listening that aren't familiar, Nathan is our co-owner, and he's a huge Lions fan, and he's been suffering a long time. So with them making the playoffs, he's flying from Connecticut to Detroit for the game next week. And I can see this being a Rams-Lions matchup.
Ooh.
And if it is, that's in terms of teams that they could potentially play, that's one of the teams I would not want to play. I wouldn't be worried as much about the Eagles or the Saints or the Bucks or the Packers. But if they get the Rams, that could be an issue.
And Will just said Stafford revenge.
Oh, but how magical!
Stafford Goff revenge. In fact,
Detroit.
Goff revenge
takes
better, right?
The only chance of the playoffs. Oh my god, that would be so poetic. That's for sure what was scripted. That's for sure what was scripted. So you can book it. Yeah, no need to predict. It's the Rams. That is 100% too storybook to not happen.
Yeah, and the other interesting thing, Nathan had the way he had booked his flights to come home. He didn't realize there was a Monday night playoff game, and I could see them saving the Rams Lions game because of all those narratives to the Monday night. So he may have to pay extra for a airplane flight ticket change.
Oh, Nate,
love you, Nathan.
To go through all that just for Stafford to deny the Lions' first playoff win in forever. It's like Will just said in the chat. It is great script. It is fate. It is just football, baby. It's football.
Brittany, no questions today, but let's go Titans and Dolphins. Michael knows what's up.
Brittany knows. Brittany knows what else happened.
I'm completely opposite of you guys here today. I want Buffalo and I want Jacksonville.
Yeah, well, I don't want the Browns in the playoffs, but I have to deal with that. So,
well,
move on.
Hey, we can at least win with backup quarterbacks. That's all I want to say.
What are we doing?
That's all the Steelers have.
We've only won with backup quarterbacks. We can't win with our starting quarterback.
Let's see here. I did see we had a question. Start 2, Hutchinson, Bosa, Sealer.
Oliver. Maybe.
Is that
Ed
Oliver?
And Zach Sealer. Ooh.
I have to admit, I don't think Nick Bosa is going to play, so he's an easy out. And we talked earlier in the show, Robert, I don't know if you heard it, that we have concerns that Detroit might play their players only for a short period of time and maybe not play them the whole game, since they really don't have a ton to play for here. They're probably going to end up as that 3 seed regardless. Sealer and the Dolphins have a ton to play for. Obviously, Oliver and the Bills do as well. And right now, I'd rather than risking Hutchinson play, 2 or 3 series and then going to the bench, I'd have to go with Oliver and Sealer on this one for me. And look, Sealer's been the number 1 defensive tackle, once again, depending on scoring systems. Okay, let's just call him top 5 for the last 6 weeks. He's been the top 3, top 5. So anyway, I'm going with Sealer and Oliver in this one, with both teams having so much to play for.
Mike?
Yeah, I'm definitely going Sealer. That was the name that stood out to me as well. Definitely playing him. And I'm not willing to risk Ed Oliver. To be honest with you, I think he has as much risk, if not more, than Aiden Hutchinson. We've seen it this year of getting goose eggs from him, and it's tough, right? Because the Dolphins don't allow a lot of hits to the quarterback, they don't allow a lot of sacks, but they did. Tua got rocked last week, and I have to imagine there's going to be a lot of coaching adjustments to avoid that happening for back-to-back weeks. And I believe Mike McDaniel will scheme up something to beat the Bills. And it's not just me being a wishful Steeler fan. I think the Dolphins come out on top. And I think the Lions play everybody personally. I don't think they take the gas. I don't think they took their foot off the gas. I think it fits the mantra. And as long as they're alive to play for something, they're going to play for something. That just screams Dan Campbell to me. So I'll go Hutchinson and Sealer.
Sean.
I think I'm right there with you. Oliver and Steelers, neither one have great matchups. Like these are not, good for either one. Hutchinson, even if he plays, let's say 3 drives, he could still get a couple sacks. And I will take that over.
Minnesota we're talking about here too. That does happen.
Yeah, and I will take that over Ed Oliver's goose egg potential.
Robert, I think they may have convinced me to go over to Hutchinson with him and Sealer for the record.
No, and it was something I put out on our IDP Guys socials and IDP Plus socials out there this week was Aiden Hutchinson has, I think it's 124 career pressures and only 19 sacks to show for that. Now, that's probably going to positively regress next season. That's probably not something we're going to suddenly see now. But the big thing with Hutchinson is that he's getting there. He just isn't getting the sacks yet. And those pressures will turn into sacks at some point. It may or may not happen this week. It's why we see those huge splash games from him, because it's progression coming in short stints. But I think next season is going to be the one where it really spreads out and evenly corrects itself in a way. But that could happen this week. It's very possible.
So here's a question. Is Dan Campbell dumb for playing his starters if they do play today?
They're alive. They're alive for still. There's a chance they get the number 2 seed. You're playing for that, in my opinion, especially with how he's coached this team. It seems contradictory to everything he says if he doesn't play them.
And what's interesting, and to Michael's point, part of the reason I started changing my mind on Hutchinson, I also started thinking about the timing of when the games are played. Detroit plays in the early window, Dallas and Philadelphia in the later window, so they don't know what's going to happen with Dallas, so they almost have to play to win in case something does happen with Dallas or Philadelphia to give them that number 2 slot. So I'm even more convinced now, thinking about the timing when games are played, to go with Hutchinson along with Sealer.
So I'm going to be honest. I haven't paid much attention to the NFC playoff picture. What has to happen for Detroit to be that number 2 seed?
I was looking it up as we were going through this. I believe the Commanders would have to beat the Cowboys, then Giants have to beat the Eagles. Which again, 2 very unlikely situations, but they're possible. And like Ricky pointed out in a very important way that I didn't notice myself, Detroit plays first. And that's a huge distinction here.
All right, let's make sure and mark that tape that Ricky said something important right there.
Yeah, listen,
let's be sure to capture that.
Listen,
23-28, got it.
How often I make fun of you and make fun of everybody. You have to go both ways with it. Otherwise, I'm just a terrible person. I'm not the person you want on here.
Steven Smith, Kraft or Jawan Johnson, Montgomery or Khalil Herbert, Carr or Hurts?
The Tucker Kraft Luke Musgrave discussion next season is going to be so fascinating because Kraft has been just so steady since Musgrave's gone down. And that's my answer here. I'm not riding the Juwan Johnson train last week. I know you want to, Saints fan. I know.
No. It's not because I'm a Saints fan.
I know it's not. I hate it when people, if I say a Steeler, I hate it when people say it's because I'm a Steeler. So I'm joking.
No. It's not because of that. And look, I'm always transparent about my love for the Saints and LSU. But Luke Musgrave got activated from the IR and is expected to play. So if he's active, does that change your thought process, Michael, about Kraft? If Musgrave is active,
yes, it does. If Musgrave is active, I need to see. Because when Musgrave was active, Musgrave was running more routes. So that would change my answer, and I'm very glad you pointed that out because I thought Musgrave was still going to miss. Yeah, we'll have to see whether he plays. It's a lacerated kidney, and he didn't put together a full practice, but back-to-back limited says he could be out there. Do we have what time does that game start? Do you know? Is it a early slate?
The Saints play the early game, and the Packers play in the later window.
Oh, that's brutal. That hurts my steam a little bit.
I have to admit, I'm leaning towards Juwan Johnson, and it just feels like Carr has finally figured out a little bit more about the Saints offense, and it feels like he's treating Juwan like he was treating, excuse me, Darren Waller back in the Raider days. I think they feel finally getting that connection going. So I'm leaning towards Juwan Johnson, particularly in the early window, and with Kraft and Musgrave potentially.
Yeah, you've talked me into it. With Musgrave potentially playing, and even then, Juwan Johnson in a must-win spot with the Saints. I've always liked Juwan Johnson. I just feel like the Saints don't at times. I feel like they completely forget he's on the team until something happens. Then he scores 3 touchdowns, and they're like, oh yeah, we should probably try to run that guy a few more routes or something like that. So yeah, I'm with you. I'll ride the 0 or 20 experience of Juwan Johnson.
Sean?
Sorry, guys. I was over here looking at Grant being disowned, but
I also saw that.
we'll have to share that one in a second. I saw that as well.
Yeah, with Musgrave back, I mean that it really muddies this up. I could see both of them playing though, and maybe putting up some numbers. But with the guarantee that Juwan Johnson is, in the early game, and he's been pretty solid, I think I would rock Johnson.
So then you have Montgomery or Khalil Herbert.
I hate this question.
I hate it as well because I want to say Khalil Herbert, and it feels so wrong to say that.
Did he say if it's a PPR?
I do not see PPR or not. Steve, if you're still here, let us know if it's PPR. So let's move on to Carr or Hurts, and then we'll come back to Montgomery and Khalil if Steve gets back to us. Oh, PPR. So stay with Montgomery and Herbert here.
I'll go Herbert.
I was leaning towards Herbert even without that answer, and making it PPR actually just pushes Herbert over the top for me very clearly.
Sean, you making it 3 for 3?
I think so. I'm not excited about it.
And then his last question is Carr or Hurts?
Never Carr. I'm sorry. I can't. Listen, I'm sorry, but I'm not. I can't fathom putting my championship hopes in Carr. I just can't.
I can't fathom
Hurts against the Giants. Well,
week 18, but
Hurts needs this win so badly, so badly. So I'm going to go Hurts here, pretty comfortably.
Ricky,
I'm leaning towards Hurts, and in weeks 1 through 17, this would have been a no-brainer. I did pause for a second to think through this. That what if it's halftime, and Dallas has a 23-3 lead on Washington, and Philadelphia says, which is very possible, if Philadelphia says, okay, there's no point playing Hurts in the second half. Will a half of Hurts do more than a full game of Carr?
Potentially, yeah, or at least close enough.
I mean, you might be guaranteed at least 1 touchdown with Hurts with a push.
Yeah, it's going to be a rushing touchdown too.
Yeah.
I'm still going Hurts, but that might be why Steven is asking this question here. But I'm still going with Hurts on this one.
I'll take this hit. I'm going with Carr.
Explain.
He needs a win just as bad. He's been doing pretty good lately. The Eagles have looked awful. And to Ricky's point, if let's say Hurts doesn't have a great halftime, still gets his rushing touchdown, then gets pulled. You got Carr playing all game. They still have a shot to win. Passing yards. I know Kamara's out, so that does limit the check down passes. But that opens up more for Juwan Johnson, Taysom Hill, Olave. You still got Rashid Shaheed out there. Yeah, I'm taking Carr.
Taysom Hill's stealing 3 rushing touchdowns from 5 yards out. I'm just going to point that out. that Taysom Hill 2+ touchdowns. It's a lock.
Robert
Derek Carr 1 rushing touchdown today.
Robert's asking, stick or Darnold as 3 QB starter league? He already has Hurts and Fields.
This is great. This is
Darnold.
it. Darnold, baby.
This is week 18.
The only reason I'm on this show today, people, I want you to know, is for me to get a question where I can say Sam Darnold, and this is the one. Play Sam Darnold. I'm pro Sam Darnold. The Jets did him dirty. The Panthers did him dirty. This is the redemption tour. Starts today. He's still like probably 21 years old. I'll go Sam Darnold.
I like Scully out here checking off his bucket list for the Darnold question of the year.
He's the same age as Michael Pittman. He's 26. Sam Darnold is 26 years old. It's nuts.
Ricky?
I'm going with Sam Darnold on this one. I was thinking about Easton Stick and want to give him a fair shot in this discussion, but it's like, okay, no Keenan Allen, no Mike Williams. Eckler is, let's just call it struggling. Josh Palmer is expected back, but
surely their first round rookie is able to help, right, Ricky?
Yeah. Oh, Quentin Johnston, yeah, he's been a stud. I avoided him in all my dynasty leagues, and so far that has been the right call on him. But Darnold could be thrown to Juwan Jennings.
I love Juwan.
Who isn't bad. He isn't
Charlie
bad.
Werner, Ronnie Bell.
Yeah, we're Ronnie Bell fans
There you
here.
go.
Everyone lock up Ronnie Bell in your DFS. I'm going to do that right now, actually.
Even with that, I'm going to go with Darnold.
So this is unfortunate for me. I'm out of the will. Mike, you're in the will.
Yeah. Listen,
Hey, Keith, I'll take a
occasionally
cut.
Browns fans and Steelers fans need to come together. And, Keith knows what's up. He knows that this is the right way to go and that the Steelers need to make the playoffs so I can watch them without TJ Watt get absolutely shellacked in the playoffs. But they'll get there.
So there's a conspiracy theory going around that Tomlin only coaches to the 500 record and nothing more.
Well, no, because he went over. He's over 500.
Well, you have to be over 500 nowadays. But
yeah, but he's not 9-8. He's 10-8, man, or
Okay.
10-7. This is a 10-win team right here. This is a double-digit team. God, they suck, but yeah, we're here for it. We're here for it.
Grant, your dad is a Browns fan as well, right?
No, he's a Steelers fan.
Oh, he's a Steelers fan.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that.
Grant's all
But I'm
kinds of
pleasantly
disappointment.
Well, it's okay because my middle brother is a Cowboys fan. So I think I'm saved a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just a little
him.
worse. Yeah.
This might be a fathering problem, Keith.
We're-
I don't know, man.
We're about to have
have
child
some
rankings on IDP, guys. What?
Yeah, we have some news happening here. Some of which was known, but Trevor Lawrence is playing. Christian Kirk is not. But the big one that I just saw, Taylor Heineke is inactive for the Atlanta Falcons today. It is Desmond Ridder who will be trying to lead them back to the promised land of
Derek Carr to the moon.
Well, here's what I'd say.
Bench all Falcons receivers.
The Saints have really struggled against scrambling quarterbacks. And not that Ridder is a big running quarterback, but I could see, by the way, so if there's some prop bets up there with Ridder and some rushing yards, depending on what it is, be considering the over because the Saints have been very vulnerable to quarterbacks with a little bit leg usage.
So Robert's back in our comments. JSN or Robinson?
Oh my gosh, which Robinson?
That's what I'm struggling as well. Is it?
It's
Allen's
not Allen.
right
It's not James.
there.
Which Robinson am I forgetting?
I'm forgetting one.
Wandale. It's got to be Wandale.
Wandale Robinson. Oh, against those Eagles. Oh man.
Good job, Ricky, on that.
Yeah, well done. I was going to get there eventually, but I would have had to. Oh,
DeMarcus.
Yes. Oh, is he playing though? That's the question.
Oh, it could be DeMarcus. Oh, yeah. He clarified it's DeMarcus. Okay.
If I get a full game of DeMarcus Robinson, I'm playing DeMarcus Robinson. The question is do we get a full game? Oh, it is also. I forgot who's. It's the back.
Seattle's playing Arizona.
Who's the backup in LA again? It's
Wentz.
Oh, fuck it.
We've broken, guys. We finally broke the code.
It's because Wentz and Darnold are were my two loved guys that didn't work out. So I have such a Super Bowl happening right now, Week 18. Oh my god. Sorry, someone else.
Sean, we'll let you go first this time.
I'm here for the breakdown of Michael Sicoli. I mean the mental breakdown, not the game breakdowns. I don't know here. Assuming Robinson plays the entire game, I would say Robinson. JSN is intriguing though, because they do have something to play for.
Philadelphia's secondary is so bad. So bad. Arizona's is so bad.
Well, it's not Philadelphia. It's the Rams.
Oh, that's right. It's DeMarcus. Yeah, my bad.
It's the 49ers secondary.
I got that in my head again.
Again, it should be potentially some backups in the secondary.
It'll be a secondary.
And the secondary is going to be, yeah.
Does that multiply or?
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
It divides, I think. I'll go with DeMarcus Robinson. My only worry is whether he plays the full game because he's been exceptional, and I wonder if they rest him because they have used him so well. That's my only worry. But as somebody that I'm going to be upfront, as somebody that lost my championship due to JSN. Well, not due to JSN, but partially due to JSN only catching one ball. It's a little bit easier for me to pass him on for DeMarcus Robinson because I think Seattle looks to DK and I think they look to Lockett.
I like that.
Ricky, you agree with that?
I'm gonna have to go with DeMarcus Robinson right now, but gosh, it's painful. It's more because I just don't trust JSN as the third wide receiver target, not to mention that it seems like they've been trying to involve Fan a little bit more. I've got to go with Robinson and take the chance that he plays. Granted that the Rams might sit him a little bit, but I'm still rolling with him. I just can't see him sitting Cooper Kupp and Nakua and Robinson, all three of them. So I'm going to go with Robinson.
And I would imagine Cooper Kupp is going to sit this game out, right? Or is he going to?
I can't imagine he plays.
Yeah, I expect him to be inactive.
So Puka comes in. He's going to get the record. They're going to force feed him. And then when he's out, we imagine Robinson is going to be the top guy. So we're looking at potential top receiver versus for sure third receiver of the Seahawks.
Yeah. So Davis Allen 8 for 75 and 2 coming up here.
I need you to write all these down for me.
Final question for Robert here. He needs 4. He's got Gibbs, Montgomery, Kamara, Connor, Ryan Robinson, A-Chain, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. But
Kamara's out,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is out. I'm looking at it right now. He is out.
Connor and A-Chain are kind of locks for me here.
Yep.
And I probably will just play I kind of just want to play the Lions duo, to be honest. I kind of just want to play both of them instead of. I don't mind going Brian Robinson. I just hate the matchup against Dallas in a game that Dallas needs to win. So I'm fine switch if I had to take out one of the Detroit backs. I'm fine doing that for B-Rob, but I'll play the first four names, or I'll play HN, Lions, and Connor.
So
it's Bijan.
Wait, who's
It's
Bijan?
Bijan, not Brian.
Not
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that changes things.
So them three for me: Connor, HN, Bijan. Then what? Gibbs. Lock me in, Gibbs.
I'll go Gibbs in full PPR over Monty. I'm trying to decide whether I even want to trust Bijan, to be honest with you. Maybe the Saints person here can give us some insight on the matchup.
Given this list and given Atlanta has something to play for, I'm absolutely playing Bijan. That's not even a question for me. And HN, obviously, with the Miami, needing to win for the number 2 seed. Connor, the way they used him last week, and Kyler's going to be their quarterback of the future. I see Arizona playing hard and playing a full game with Connor. And then I'm going Gibbs as my fourth one. Those are my four. I as much as I love my Clyde and still remember some great touchdowns against Alabama in our championship year 2019 with Joe Burrow, I digress, but I can't trust him this week. And by the way, even though Pacheco's supposed to be out, I expect Michael Pirine to get 16 carries for 63 yards and a touchdown.
Michael Pirine is a name I thought I would never hear again and hoped I wouldn't. But I agree with you, and I'll go with the same four.
Zamir White or David Montgomery?
Zamir White.
Zamir White.
Yeah, I'm not arguing against that.
Yeah,
Jacobs is out, right?
Sure out. Yeah, Jacobs is out.
Yeah, White's been pretty solid here the last several weeks. So we know he's going to play the game.
So many dumb downs.
And he has been catching passes too. Last week, I believe it was 4 catches he had last week as well. So particularly in a PPR, I'm in on Zamir.
Darnold or Tyrod Taylor?
You know my answer.
Will, you're killing it.
You know my answer. It's the first round talent, the comeback kid, Sam Darnold. I'm not even joking. I'd play Sam Darnold over Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, I'm with it.
I'm not with you guys.
I know Tyrod's play well. Yeah, I know he has.
Yeah, Tyrod's going to. Philadelphia's pass defense is just brutal. Their linebackers are brutal. I could see Tyrod scrambling for 30, 40 yards and getting a couple of touchdowns pretty easy. I think he's going to do better than Darnold on this one. So sorry to split on you, Will, but I know it's 2-1, but I think Tyrod's going to distance himself from Darnold on this one.
What Ricky forgot to mention is the fact that Tyrod will get injured after he does some pretty nice runs. And it'll be DeVito to come in and save the Giants season.
Oh, miraculous. Save it. What does that? Does that mean lose the game so they get a top 3 pick?
Right.
Okay. Clarify. Just want to clarify.
Breece Hall or James Conner?
Breece. Tough.
No, this is fun.
I know why you're struggling with this. It's tougher than it looks, or as quick as I answer that, but I'll go Breece Hall.
I'm with you. He's been on fire.
Even against the Patriots defense, that's why I'm pausing for a second to reflect on this one. I'm still going to go with Breece Hall.
So sweep for Breece. Zamir White, James Cook, Tony Pollard.
Oh, man.
I think that would get up so big.
Fournette was elevated, by the way.
I'm throwing out. I think it's White for me. I was thinking White or Cook because I'm not playing Tony Pollard, even in a very good matchup. I just don't. I can't believe I'm at this point with Tony Pollard. It's been such a frustrating season, and I've championed him for so long. But
it's week 18, so
it's week 18. That's what I'll say. I'll go Zamir White here. It's just so many dump downs, so many touches.
For me, it's Zamir White, and it's not really close, to be honest with you.
I almost want to say Cook here.
That's what I'm closer with Cook than I am with Pollard.
But
yeah, Pollard's a distant third. I agree.
Pretty much the order you have them in, I think, is where we all rank them for this week.
Yep.
But that distance between White and Cook is not very big, I don't think. Yeah, White.
So Will's just messing with Michael here.
It's I understand the question because it's tough choosing between two truly top tier options, and two quarterbacks that, dare I say, were screwed by their franchise. You know, the Eagles undermined Wentz's confidence, and Sam Darnold was obliterated by the Jets and Panthers, two defunct organizations. So, you know, I understand this question. It's a tough question that everyone's dealing with out there this week, and I'll go Sam Darnold. I'll go Sam Darnold this week.
So we have a dynasty keeper IDP question from Keith here. Towards the end of the season, I grabbed what I think are potential breakout players. Here's the 4 I grabbed. What are our thoughts? Speed, pace, Alway, and I'm sorry, I cannot say that. Yeah, thank you.
Odeyingbo. Yeah. Well, I love the first 3 names for sure, and I know Dio's had a very productive season as well. I love the first 3 names for 2024, especially Pace and Away. I'm very pro this. I like this list a lot. It's always hard for me to pass judgment when I don't know what other names are out there that you could be stashing. But in a vacuum, I think all 4 of these names will have very relevant 2024 roles, or at least carry value into August.
My problem with Oway is we've been expecting him to break out, kind of take over for the last, 3 years? And the Ravens, for whatever reason, always bring in some veterans and just kind of put him back into a rotational piece.
Well, Clowney might have priced himself out of Baltimore, maybe. And plus, to factor in slightly, I guess, the Lamar extension should kick into next year, right? So, and that they should have less cap space. I don't have it right in front of me right now, but I don't know. It's next year or never throw away. So if you're a believer, I'm fine holding. I think we've seen enough flashes to have some hope, and he came in really young, if I'm not mistaken.
I just don't know if he'll ever be more than rotation.
He's super old. I completely lied. I had yes, he is 25, but although he just turned 25, still.
And Hicks is a free agent, so all the more reason like Pace as well. And given Hicks being 30, 31, some along those lines, like Pace. Although I wouldn't be surprised if Minnesota picks up another linebacker. Love the way Speed has been playing the last 3 games. It's like, granted, I know he's around 27, 28, but the light bulb has really turned on. He was playing so aggressive last night and watching him. Really like the way he was playing the last several weeks. And Deo, should be some Jamaican music going as I tried to do that. That was terrible. Deo. I can't sing, but
we know.
But on Odeyingbo, I actually have him in a dynasty league. In his last year of college, he blew out his knee, and I really started to see this year a little bit more of his potential. I expect in terms of Deo to really take off next year. So he is someone to definitely keep your eye on. I like these 4, Keith, overall.
Yeah, I like Speed, but I do have a little bit of concern.
Speed, you mean, correct?
Yeah, I like Speed so confidently.
Yes. You see how I'm bouncing off the wall, right? Yeah, so EJ Speed. My only concern there is Indianapolis has turned out some pretty good linebackers over the last several years. And we've seen Anthony Walker come from there, Bobby Okereke, Shaq Leonard, Zaire Franklin, EJ Speed has done well. Now, when they've moved off, Anthony Walker just didn't quite capture it in Cleveland. Okereke has done really well, but that's a system where we've seen linebackers produce no matter who was there. So I do have a little bit of reserve for EJ Speed, but I think he was a good pickup. I do.
So let me make sure we didn't miss any questions here, and I don't think so. We're just getting a bunch of thank yous from Robert, Cajunomics. So if we don't have any more,
Go Saints, Cajunomics. If you're on there, what are you from? Louisiana? What part are you from?
so
You have to type that in and let us know.
yeah, absolutely.
Rugaru must not have any Week 18 games. He's not on.
No.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
Let's see here. Just going through one more time before we sign off here.
We got a final question from Will in here.
Will doesn't want us to leave.
Oh,
TJ Edward,
I appreciate
Bolton, Brooks, Jones. He needs to keep 3.
I'll keep 3. I was about to say if this is a start, I'm pretty sure you just said yourself in the chat earlier that Ernest Jones isn't playing. But keeping. Oh man, this is a good one. I like this one.
I'm almost certain Brooks is a free agent. Let me just double check that really fast here.
Yes.
Yep.
I think Ernest Jones is also a free agent, isn't
I do not. He is not. I'm
it's
almost
third
certain he's not. He is
It's
not.
his 3rd season. So yeah, you're right. Yeah, he's got one more. Keep 3. I think I'm just not keeping Brooks. I think everyone else I think should return to their roles next year, and Brooks we just don't know. So that's to me the odd man out there.
Yeah, and while Brooks is getting a lot of stats, a lot of stuff I read online is indicating that he's not playing that well.
Yeah.
And we've seen that a lot with linebackers, and they go into free agency and they may shift teams, and then you see a big drop off. So Brooks is the one I'm dropping on this one. If I can only keep 3 and if I have to decide now.
That injury, he suffered last year. We didn't expect him back at the beginning of this season anyway. So we're looking. It's been just over a year since he tore his ACL. How old is he? Was he like 26, 7?
I think he'll be 26.
Okay.
He turns. He is 26 right now. He turned it in October. So yeah, he's 26.
So we're thinking he's more of a system guy, and it's the Seattle stat crew.
It's partially that, but more so for me, it's just all 3 of the other guys are good players returning to the same system. I have just so much fewer variables with the other guys. If TJ Edwards got his contract, I want him back. Nick Bolton, we know what he is, and he still is under contract, and the Chiefs know what he is. It didn't work out this year due to injury, but the Chiefs know what he is. So he's going to return to that role next year, or at least a very promising one. And Ernest Jones just had it's sensational breakout season. So I'm not cutting Ernest Jones ever. So it leaves Jordan Brooks as the one man with where is he the same after the injury? Where is he going to be playing next year? Does somebody want to trust him next year? Hell, Devin Bush has looked okay in Seattle, and Devin Bush is terrible. So I think Seattle moves on from him, and I don't know where he ends up, and therefore he's the guy with the biggest question mark.
Jordan Hooks or Devondre Campbell today?
Oh boy, the eternal question is Campbell playing?
The last I seen, he was full participant.
Yeah, he is back.
Yep.
Okay, he will be back.
And so I was just looking at a stat here over the last 6 weeks. And once again, scoring systems, you got to be careful. But Detroit has been in the bottom 3 in terms of giving up points to linebackers, which was actually very surprising as I was looking at this here.
Yeah, I was leaning Campbell to begin with, to be honest. I like that matchup, and Packers defense is struggling to get off the field. And Campbell, when he's out there, he's normally fairly productive. He's had some up and down games, but mostly tougher matchups. So I'll go Campbell. I'm not totally excited about either, but I'll go Campbell. Then you get a high-end LB3 play, maybe. Low-end LB2, maybe.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Campbell, but I'm not expecting linebacker 1 stats out of either one of these guys, not even close, but I'd lead Campbell over Hicks on this one. Hicks only had 1 tackle and 3 assists last week, whereas Pace just dominated the stat sheet.
Pace is awesome. Pace is awesome. And also Will just pointed out that Jordan Hicks is actually out. Let me confirm that. I do trust Will, but
He said Brooks is out.
You guys said Brooks, but meant Hicks. I got confused with the latest comment now. Okay. Regardless, Hicks is playing. Campbell is playing. I prefer Campbell.
Sean?
I don't know the question anymore.
Jordan Hicks or Devondre Campbell?
Where's Brooks at? That's what I need to know. Campbell. We've seen, like I said last week, it's the Pace show. Pace is pretty much taken over. It's not exciting. I hope you have enough other good players to help carry this, but Campbell's probably got the safer floor here.
Yeah, and I wrote about the Vikings before the season, and it was one of the predictions that turned out okay. Was this Brian Flores system, and we've seen it over the years. It's 1 linebacker and it's nobody else. That linebacker 2 does not hold a lot of fantasy value. We've seen that this year of when Hicks is the guy, Hicks is the guy, and Pace is kind of an afterthought. When Pace is the guy, and Hicks is an afterthought. It goes back and forth, and that's why it's been frustrating at times. But Pace has been so good this season, which is why I love him, like Keith mentioned earlier, as a dynasty stash next season. I love Ivan Pace. I think he's graded terrifically. He looked fantastic. He cost them nothing. And Hicks is going to be gone next year. So yeah, love Pace, which leads me to be a little bit more apprehensive with Hicks right now. Also a must-win game for the Packers. Factor that in. And yeah, there you go. That's the answer.
Yeah.
What an awesome season he's had. Josh Metellus.
Yeah. Hey,
Ricky?
Can you click on the DMP 451 here real quick?
Which one?
3rd from the bottom. There you go. DMP 451, thanks for the kind words as well. And I know there's been others as well, but we really enjoy what we're doing. One of the things about the IDP Plus, formerly IDP Guys, switching IDP Plus, but one of the things is we've got a great group of people. I mean, I love Grant, Sean, Michael, and there's so many more. We have a great family, not only a lot of fun, but they're great at what they know in terms of fantasy football. So so it's a thank you, but it's also a plug for the IDP Plus as we move forward to keep on coming in and have some fun and learning a little bit, and hopefully we help you win some championships.
On the topic of championships, Ricky, we might as well throw something else out here. If you go to TrophySmack.com right now, right, and I believe it's still active, the best thing about fantasy football leagues is bragging about it, right? And the best way to brag about it is with a trophy, a belt, something like that. And Trophy Smack has all of that. So we're partners with them. We love them over there. Ricky's got an amazing one right there. I have this little. Actually, I'm not going to show that because I'm not sure if that came from Trophy Smack. I got shipped from it, but from someone else. That was a gift I got. But the point is, if you guys go to TrophySmack.com, you guys get
blur that out.
Raise the stakes, and use code IDP Guys. You get a free championship ring with your order of a trophy or a belt. So, like Ricky's about to show you right here. That ring, it is pretty nice. It's your own Super Bowl ring of fantasy football right there. So you get that for free when you're getting your trophy for your league. So you get something for your league and get a little something for yourself.
Listen, even if you didn't win a championship, go check out Trophy Smack. They got some really cool stuff for people that were last place in there. Yeah, they got loser trophies. They have loser singlets that are very own Matt Record showed off in a video, which I'm very.
That I have to get. That might be the next one.
Yeah, if you haven't seen that video, folks, you need to go look up Matt Record. And it's a beautiful yellow banana colored outfit. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, would look good on any Steelers fan out there.
yeah, man. Listen, we can pull it off. Although Matt's a Patriots fan, you might think it looks better on the Patriots fans. But listen, I know I can speak for myself and Ricky when I say we've met these Trophy Smack guys. They're good guys. It always helps to support a brand that has been just so good to the entire community. So Yeah, always want to shout out Trophy Smack. Use code IDP Guys to get that free ring.
Yeah, let's go ahead and sign off here. Sean, let's give a prediction here for today, and then let everybody know where they can find you.
What kind of prediction do you want me to give? I predict Michael passes out twice watching Sam Darnold play, and Carson wins. So that's my prediction.
Well, I'm going to have to record the game and watch it several times.
Yeah, that's true. Big prediction. Titans beat the Jaguars. That's my big prediction. And you can find me on Twitter at Sean8386.
Mike.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Michael__Sicoli, but I put a lot of my IDP content on our IDP Plus social. So if you go to @IDP Guys currently, that will transition over the next coming months. But currently @IDP Guys on Twitter, biggest one, is the one that you can see all my IDP content on. My big prediction I'll throw out there: the Dolphins destroy the Bills. Dolphins obliterate the Bills. All right, I'm gonna go with that.
Not with that defensive line.
Ricky, before we get to you,
we have one more question. I saw it. Yeah,
we have one more question, and then Will just said Swift is out, just in with an illness.
Oh, for God's sake!
Derek Carr.
Shot any week wintertime, baby.
St. Juice or Rasul Douglas at corner today.
St. Juice because Kendall Fuller is out.
Ooh, good look.
Rasul Douglas hasn't been overly great since being with the Bills. It's more the Terry Johnson show.
He had a good week last week. Granted, he's playing. He is the last couple of weeks. He's actually done really well. I don't know about trusting any Washington Commanders in this championship week. Oh, you talk about predictions. I predict having St. Juice watching CeeDee Lamb run right by him for about a 60-yard touchdown. I'm going to go with Douglas on this one. It's more because I just don't trust Washington at all.
That's totally fair.
Yeah, I'll go Douglas as well, just because I know there's a ceiling there. We got 2 picks last week. We've seen Miami be favorable to fantasy points allowed to cornerbacks this year, at least due to how much they're passing it to their receivers. It's not great. I don't love either option, but I think St. Juice just has such a capped ceiling right now that I could have a floor of 4 tackles, but truthfully, that's not what I'm shooting for right now.
Particularly in championship week, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't have 4 tackles or a potential DB 1 week or cornerback 1 week. I'll take the chance on the cornerback 1 week.
All right, Ricky. Take us out.
Prediction. I need some positive karma. So Panthers upset the Bucks when Burns hurts Baker Mayfield. He goes out with a rib injury, and Trask can't lead him to victory. And then the Saints squeak by the Falcons somehow, and the Saints get the 4th playoff spot. And Dennis Allen saves his job. And oh my gosh, do I really want that to happen? No.
I think that'd be the worst outcome. Yeah.
You can find me at Ricky Rod 66.
Terrible person.
And wow, Ricky. Thanks, David. If go big or go home in week 18. And like I said, we're going to do all kind of mocks. We're going to do 1 quarterback mocks. We're going to do super flex mocks. We're going to do offense and IDP mocks. We're going to do offensive rookie mocks. We're going to do IDP rookie mocks. We're going to do an offense and IDP. We're going to do mocks out the wazoo. And a lot of these fine gentlemen will be joining me for some of these shows throughout. So we'll be doing that throughout the next several weeks and months. So that's where you see me a lot.
Ricky's like Oprah with mock drafts. You get a mock, you get a mock, everybody gets a mock, but
everybody gets a mock.
But with that being said, good luck to everybody that is playing in their week 18 fantasy. next year try to change that to week 17. It makes everything a lot easier if all of you gentlemen agree with that.
Nope.
But with that being said, good luck to everybody. Let us know if you win over on Twitter/X or whatever you guys want to call it. Just
Twitter.
tweet at IDP. Is it IDP Guys still or the IDP Plus now?
It's still at IDP Guys, but I'm pretty sure if you search IDP Plus, it'll still come up. But yeah, if it's still at IDP Guys for the time being.
So, all right, let's go watch some football, and we'll talk to you guys later.
All right, good luck.
Good luck with your teams, everybody.